Stop being available. What if being constantly available is actually holding you back? We live in a world where being always available is considered a virtue. Whether it's replying to emails, answering phone calls, or showing up for everyone else, there's an unspoken expectation that we must be accessible at all times. But have you ever wondered, what does being constantly available cost you? More importantly, what are you sacrificing by prioritizing others' needs above your own? In a world that is always asking for your time, attention, and energy, the power of choosing when to be available can transform your life. What if, instead of being there for everyone else at every moment, you took a step back and decided to stop being available? Not in a way that disconnects you from relationships or responsibilities, but in a way that protects your peace, nurtures your energy, and helps you stay connected to your true self. The truth is, being available all the time is draining. It depletes your mental and emotional resources, leaving you feeling empty, exhausted, and more often than not, resentful. But when you stop being constantly available, you create space for what really matters, your own well-being, personal growth, and happiness. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the constant demand for your time? How many times have you stretched yourself thin, agreeing to meet someone's needs because you didn't want to disappoint them, or because you feared saying no? This is a trap we all fall into at some point. We give too much of ourselves, leaving little room for ourselves in return. But here's the truth. You are not a bottomless well. Your energy has limits. And if you continue to give it away to others without replenishing it for yourself, you'll eventually burn out. In fact, the more you make yourself available to everyone, the less available you become to the things that truly matter to you, your goals, your passions, your health, and your happiness. The power of not being available is that it helps you reclaim your time and energy. By choosing when and where you invest yourself, you regain control over your life. And this is not about being selfish. It's about being self-aware. It's about recognizing that you can't pour from an empty cup, and you deserve to refill your own before offering your energy to others. In a world where people constantly demand your attention, it's crucial to create boundaries that allow you to protect your most valuable resource, your time. Saying no, or simply not responding immediately, is not an act of rejection. It's an act of self-preservation. When you stop being available all the time, you begin to recognize that your needs, desires, and well-being matter just as much as anyone else's. But let's be real, it's not always easy to stop being available. We fear disappointing others, we fear rejection, and we fear being perceived as selfish. We've been taught to prioritize others over ourselves, to be nice or accommodating, even at our own expense. But what if I told you that by constantly making yourself available, you're not actually helping anyone, you're enabling unhealthy dynamics where you're expected to give and give without receiving in return? It's time to shift the narrative. Being available all the time does not make you a better person, nor does it make you more loved or valued. In fact, it often leads to burnout, resentment, and a loss of self-identity. You begin to lose touch with your own needs, desires, and goals, all because you're too busy putting others first. Here's the hard truth. You teach people how to treat you. If you're always available, you're training others to expect your constant attention. You're teaching them that your time is infinite and that your own well-being is secondary to their needs. And eventually, this dynamic will drain you. It will leave you feeling depleted, frustrated, and, frankly, unappreciated. So, how do you stop being available all the time without cutting people off completely? How do you create space for yourself while still showing up for the important people in your life? It starts with boundaries. Boundaries are not about shutting people out or being rude. They're about protecting your energy and setting clear expectations. It's about communicating that you value your time and your needs, and that you will no longer sacrifice them to keep others happy. When you set boundaries around your availability, you're teaching people that your time is precious and that you can only give when you're in a position to do so. People will respect you more for it. They will recognize your worth, and they'll appreciate the time and energy you do give them even more. But setting boundaries isn't just about saying no to others. It's also about saying yes to yourself. It's about recognizing that your time, your energy, and your mental space are valuable. It's about protecting your well-being, your peace of mind, and your personal growth. One of the biggest challenges of stopping being available is learning to prioritize yourself without feeling guilty. So often, we believe that saying no or withdrawing from others is selfish, but the reality is the opposite. By choosing yourself first, you ensure that you have the strength, energy, and clarity to show up for others when you truly want to. It's about making sure that your own needs are met so that you can give to others from a place of abundance, not scarcity. The key is to understand that your value is not defined by your availability. You are not a tool for others to use whenever they need something. You are a whole person with your own dreams, desires, and priorities, and it's okay to honor those. In fact, it's necessary. When you stop being constantly available, you free yourself from the pressure of living up to everyone else's expectations, and you create space for your own vision to flourish. Another important factor in stopping being available is learning to be okay with the discomfort that comes with it. You will likely face resistance. People might not understand why you're setting boundaries or why you're not always there when they need you. But this is part of the process. The people who truly value and respect you will understand that your decision to prioritize yourself is not personal. And here's something important to remember. Saying no or choosing not to be available does not mean that you're abandoning anyone. You're simply choosing to honor your own needs first, and that's a healthy, necessary practice. You can still be there for people, but you do so on your own terms, when you are in a position to give your full attention and energy. So, how do you start? Begin by assessing where you're spending your time and energy. What drains you? What leaves you feeling fulfilled? Start setting clear boundaries around your availability and practice saying no when something doesn't align with your values or goals. Recognize that it's okay to put yourself first and that you don't have to be available to everyone all the time. The freedom that comes with choosing to stop being available is incredible. You begin to reclaim your time, your energy, and your life. You stop being a passive participant in other people's demands and start taking active control over your own life. And in that space, you'll find peace, purpose, and a deeper connection to yourself. So, what will you choose? Will you continue to stretch yourself thin by being available all the time, or will you take the bold step of protecting your time, setting boundaries, and choosing yourself first? Choose you.